Welcome to our global news update. Today we bring you the latest developments from the rapidly escalating conflict in the Middle East and other major international events. The war involving Iran, Israel, and the United States is entering a critical phase. Military strikes are intensifying, political tensions are rising, and the world is watching closely as leaders respond to the growing crisis. In this report, we will cover the latest military developments, political reactions, humanitarian impacts, and the potential global consequences of the conflict. Let's begin with the most controversial statement made this week. Trump demands Iran's unconditional surrender. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has issued a strong statement regarding the conflict with Iran. Trump declared that the United States will accept nothing less than Iran's unconditional surrender. In a public message, Trump said there would be no agreement with Iran unless the country agrees to surrender without any conditions. He added that after such a surrender, and once a new leadership is chosen in Iran, the United States and its allies would help rebuild the country. According to Trump, the goal would be to stabilize Iran and bring the nation back from what he described as the edge of destruction. However, Trump's comments have sparked debate among analysts and political observers. Some experts believe the statement could increase tensions and make diplomatic negotiations more difficult. Others argue that strong pressure could force Iran to reconsider its military strategy. For now, it remains unclear whether such a scenario is realistic. Iran rejects Trump's demand. Iran's leadership quickly responded to Trump's statement. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said that Iran will never surrender under foreign pressure. He described Trump's demand for unconditional surrender as unrealistic and unacceptable. According to Iranian officials, the country will continue defending itself against what it calls aggression from Israel and its allies. Iranian leaders also warned that any further escalation could lead to serious consequences across the region. This response shows that neither side appears ready to back down. Israel expands military operations. Meanwhile, Israel has significantly expanded its military operations. The Israeli military announced that dozens of fighter jets participated in a new wave of airstrikes targeting Iranian military infrastructure. Israeli officials say the strikes targeted missile storage facilities, military bases, and command centers. One of the most controversial reports claims that a bunker linked to Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei was among the targets. According to Israeli sources, the attack was part of a broader effort to weaken Iran's military capabilities. Israel also claims that during the past week its forces destroyed a large portion of Iran's air defense systems. Israeli military officials say approximately 80% of Iran's air defense systems have been disabled. They also claim that more than 60% of Iran's missile launch platforms have been destroyed. These claims have not yet been independently verified. Attacks reported in Tehran. New reports from Iran's capital have further intensified concerns. Iranian media reported that explosions were heard near Mehrabad Airport in Tehran. Mehrabad is one of the main airports in the Iranian capital and has both civilian and military facilities. Videos circulating on social media appeared to show smoke rising from areas near the airport. However, Iranian officials have not yet confirmed the full extent of the damage. Military analysts say that targeting airports and transportation infrastructure could significantly disrupt Iran's military logistics. Iran strikes back. Iran has also launched retaliatory attacks. Iranian forces reportedly fired missiles and drones toward Israeli territory. Air defense systems were activated across Israel as authorities attempted to intercept the incoming threats. Explosions were reported in several cities. Residents were forced to seek shelter as warning sirens sounded across the country. The exchange of attacks shows that the conflict is becoming increasingly intense. Both sides appear determined to continue their military operations. Tensions spread across the Gulf region. The conflict is no longer limited to just Israel and Iran. Several countries in the Persian Gulf have reported security incidents linked to the escalating tensions. The United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia have all reported drone or missile activity in their airspace. In Dubai, debris from an intercepted missile reportedly struck a vehicle, killing one person. These incidents have raised fears that the conflict could expand into a broader regional war. Many of these countries host American military bases, which could make them potential targets in the conflict. Humanitarian impact and casualties. The human cost of the conflict is also increasing. According to the Iranian Red Crescent Society, at least 1,332 people have been killed in Iran since the strikes began. Many of the victims are believed to be civilians. Hospitals in several cities have reportedly been overwhelmed with injured patients. In Lebanon, the Ministry of Health reported that at least 123 people have been killed and more than 680 others injured due to Israeli strikes. Inside Israel, officials say 11 people have died since the conflict began. There are also reports that at least 6 American military personnel have been killed during the escalation. The growing number of casualties is raising serious humanitarian concerns. Global economic impact. The conflict is also affecting the global economy. Financial markets around the world are closely monitoring the situation. The Middle East is one of the most important regions for global oil production. If the conflict disrupts oil supply routes, energy prices could rise sharply. Higher oil prices could increase inflation and slow economic growth in many countries. Some analysts warn that if the conflict continues to escalate, it could trigger a major global economic shock. Conclusion. As the conflict enters its second week, the situation remains extremely volatile. Military strikes continue, political tensions are rising, and the humanitarian impact is growing. World leaders are calling for de-escalation and diplomatic solutions. However, with both sides continuing their military operations, the future of the conflict remains uncertain. The coming days may determine whether the situation begins to calm down or moves toward a much larger regional war. For now, the world continues to watch closely as events unfold in one of the most sensitive regions on the planet.